Hello, everyone, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on that thumbnail. Welcome back to another Providing Resources for Emergency Preparedness YouTube video. If you are one of my loyal subscribers, the 1200 from day one, thank you for sticking around. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am so glad you're here. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to do so. Also, click the bell notification button so you are always aware when I upload a new video. I would also like you to share this video with someone you feel needs this message. And if this video resonated with you in any way, you felt this video is a blessing to your family emergency preparedness plans, please do not hesitate to leave a comment below. Today, I'm so excited to share with you part two of our 2021 annual budget plans. And as I mentioned in the part one video, I have created a three-part series that focuses on my um, 2021 annual budget. And that series has three categories, as you can see here. The first video was about my categories itself. The second video that you're going to see today is the real numbers. And the third video that I'll publish in a few weeks at the end of February will be our cash envelope stuffing. If you are interested in seeing part two and seeing my actual budget numbers, keep watching after the intro. All right, now that the intro is over, as I explained in my first part one video, which was the categories, everything I do on prep is based on the overall plan I put together of action tasks. I strongly believe without a plan, you can't take any actions. You have to know where you're going. And a dream without a written plan is just that, a dream. And I dream of having my family financially prepared and all my family emergency preparedness plans in place. So as you can see here, I have the action task one icon bigger than the others, and that's because this series focus is on making a plan. And we are making a financial plan in this series, this three-part series. The action task one, make a plan. And without making a plan, you cannot do the other parts in the series. So this three-part financial series is about us making a plan. And do not skip this step. If you don't make a plan, you don't outline your budget, you don't know how much money you have coming in and out your house. The rest of the part, when I show you guys my food storage, none of that will work. You have to make a plan. So let's start with that. All right, let's go into the next section. Well, this is a three-part series, and part one video, you really need to watch that before you get into my numbers. It's easy to be nosy and just want to see how much I make and how much I got in debt and how much my bills are, but you really won't understand why my budget looks the way it does without watching part one categories. It shows you, part one video shares the categories and my thought process of how and why I put the budget together the way I did. Before you ask a question on my budget in the comment section below, be sure to watch part one first. I am sure, almost positive, the reason for why I do something in my budget is in that part one video. So go there first before you ask the question in the comment section. Because if you do ask the question that I know I answered in part one, I'm just going to say, please go watch part one video. All right. All right, so we're going to get into part two in our steps to financial preparedness, which is showing you my real numbers. In this video, I use an Excel spreadsheet to track my actual income and expenses that make up our home budget. And before I pop the numbers on the screen, I want you to know that everybody's income is different. My income is not going to be your income, and your income is not going to be my income. You have to create a spreadsheet that works for your numbers. You're not going to have the same categories I'm going to have. You're not going to have the same expenses I'm going to have because everyone is in a different season in their life. And this is the season that I am in. So keep that in mind when you see my numbers. Don't judge me too much. And I hope this video is a blessing for you to create a spreadsheet of your own, plug in your numbers, and start creating a sound financial plan. Now, I am not a guru. I want to add that disclaimer again. I am not Susie Orman, nor do I claim to be. I'm just showing you what I do in my house in hopes that it'll be a blessing to you. So after part two, at the end of February, you're going to see me post part three. And then part three is going to be when I go to the bank and get the money for my sinking funds and stuff my envelopes. And I'll post that at the end of February, like I mentioned before, because I pay all of my bills once a month ahead for the previous month. So keep an eye out for part three. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so when I post the sinking funds videos, you're aware when it comes. So why this series? After this series, I'm going to start action task two, which is get your house in order. This this financial series explains how I can afford to get my house in order. Without a solid annual financial preparedness plan, it is not possible for me to get my food storage, get my household storage, get my personal storage supplies, create a garden, build my water storage, build my financial plan. If you don't have a good financial plan, getting your house in order is almost impossible. Ask yourself when the coronavirus hit in February and March of last year, did you have a store of everything you need, or was you out there fighting over toilet paper like everybody else? This financial preparedness plan in this series will get you in a position where you don't have to be out there fighting over toilet paper and scraping by to get by because I'm planning for my future. I'm planning ahead. And without a good plan, any dream without a written plan is just that. It's a dream and a wish. And I truly believe that in order to accomplish any goals, you have to write it down and have a sound financial plan. So I created this video series to encourage you all to start and get your family emergency preparedness plan together. If I can do it on my income, you can do it on your income. All right, with that all said, let's get into these numbers because I know that's what you want to see. All right, so let's get into these numbers because this is what you guys really came to see. So, as you can see, if you look right here, I have columns B, I guess it would be C to S hidden because this is my numbers behind here. And again, if you have not watched the first video on the categories, it really explains why my numbers look the way they do and why my budget is set up that way. Please do not leave a comment down below asking why I have numbers the way I do. Go watch the first video and that will answer all of your questions. So let's get into the numbers. So as I said, I prefer an Excel spreadsheet because it allows me to make adjustments as needed. So we're going to start with my income. My income here is my income. It is not my daughter's income. This is what I make um, because I take care of our household. So this is my income about a year. This is where Biden's stimulus and Trump's stimulus was $600, and then predicted that Biden's stimulus will come out sometimes around April. And I also get employment bonuses. Now, we did not get bonuses for 2020, and I'm not sure if we'll get bonuses for 2021. So hopefully, um, um, things will turn around, but I'm not expecting it. So I just left that as other. And if I make any side hustle money off of YouTube or whatever, that'll go into the other section. But as of right now, other is completely blank. So that's my income. So then after that, as I explained before, I pay medical insurance out of my paycheck. So these are my monthly medical costs. So these are all monthly expenses, not weekly, but monthly, because as you can see here, it's January, February, March, April, May, June, and so on and so forth. So I pay my medical insurance, my dental, vision, health, savings account. I do a HSA so that I could pay for things like my glasses, my contacts, my medicines, the prescriptions, and things like that. Then I contribute to my retirement account every month, um, and life insurance through work. And these all come out my paycheck directly. So these all get paid before I get paid. You know how that goes. So then when you subtract that number from this number, this is what I have left for the month so far. And then after that, I have my taxes, my payroll taxes. So all of this, as I explained before, is payroll taxes. So when you subtract this number from this number, you're left with this number. So this is what I'm bringing home monthly, um, after all my income, tax, and deductions. So then I start paying my bills. So then I pay my taxes first. Like I said, I want to get my federal and state taxes taken care of. I did get some employment bonuses in the past. They did not take out the appropriate amount of tax, and the IRS was like, no, boo, you owe us some money and we want it. And I was like, okay, boo, you will get it. So I got on a payment plan. This is my payment plan, and I'm going to get them their tax money. And like I said, this state taxes will be done this year, and then my federal taxes will be done at the probably February of 2021. All right. So then student loans, I'll have them forever. Right now, Biden has extended student loan non payments until I think the end of April. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that 102 and I'm putting it in an envelope. And when it's time to start paying my student loans, I'm just gonna pay ahead a bit, and get that money taken care of, so I could just get out of debt. Because my goal is to be completely debt free as soon as possible. I do not want to take debt into my retirement. All right. So then, when you subtract this number from this number, I'm left with, which is the take home from the federal debt I pay off. I'm left with this number right here, or this line right here. And then you go into the mortgage, the property taxes, home insurance, blah, 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 as you can see here. And some expenses are annual and some expenses are quarterly. Like my city water and my trash, they are quarterly bills, and we pay those here. And we use a lot of water in my house, so I just pay because we girls and we have really really long hair. So we spend a lot of time. For some reason, soap just sticks to my hair, and I have to rinse my hair over and over and over to get the soap out. So, and the fact that it's really really long does not help as well. So we have our quarterly expenses here, and then our other monthly expenses. So then when you subtract our after debt total from this total, we're left with this amount. Let me show you that again. Our after debt total right here from our basic needs, we're left with this amount. So then after this line, I take out our groceries, our household, our personal care, our clothing, dry cleaning expense. I explained all this in the other video. So if you want the details on how these numbers get to be the way they are, go to the other video, part one. And then when you subtract this number from this number, this is what's left per month. And some months I'm like really up. And then some months I'm like 230. I think the lowest is 230. So then I take out our sinking funds, and these are what I stuff into the cash envelopes. So these are all our sinking fund costs here that I have on a monthly basis. So when we subtract the green what's left column from the um, total of the columns here, we get what's left for savings. Now, some of these numbers look negative, but they're actually not, because if you highlight this section, these months where I'm ahead make up for the little month I'm short. This month I'm ahead takes care of all of this negative right here, and so on and so forth. So I am left with a positive balance at the end of the year. So that's the numbers on this page. So now let's go into our sinking funds. So our sinking funds are the things that I set money to the side for each and every year. I mean, each and every month. And I then go to the bank and get the money out and put those in envelopes. That way I control my spending. If I'm just swiping that debit card, I'm not paying attention to the numbers. But if I have cash when I go to Costco, that limits how much I spend. If I have cash when I go to the grocery store, that limits how much I spend, because if I don't have the cash, I can't buy it. So I really have to go in with a list and be focused and intentional in my spending. And this is what the sinking fund envelopes help me do. It helps me be focused and intentional in my spending, because the only way to get out of debt is to spend with you what you have. And like I said, I don't have any credit card debt. And I don't have any credit cards to swipe in the first place. So I do tend to spend a lot of cash versus um, just buck wilding with my debit card. And then I don't have the money to buck wild with it anyway. So every month I go to the bank and I do my sinking envelopes. And this is what I take out. And this number here, you will see is reflected from these numbers here. It's the same numbers. So in January, I put in money in the envelopes, right? And this is what I hope to do for February at the end of this month. And it's only the 7th. So I haven't stuffed my February envelopes yet, but I think I'm going to do it early just so I can finish out the video before the end of February. But I might wait to that last week in February like I normally do, because that's the honest way I do it. Okay, so I put all of these into my health savings account, these amounts that you saw over there. And then in total, I go to the bank and I get this $2,528 in cash. And the tellers, they know me, they see me, they know when I'm coming, and they know I come in once a month to get my denomination. And so um, I go and I get 28 ones and 25s and 13 tens and 21 20s and 11 50s and 13 $100 bills. And then I take that and I stuff that in my envelopes. And that way, I control my spending. I'm disciplined, like This is all based on Dave Ramsey. If you're not familiar with who Dave Ramsey is, I will link his information below. But this is the Dave Ramsey method for the envelopes, the sinking funds. It helps you control your spending. And I need discipline. When you owe back taxes, you need to do something different that you hadn't been doing before. And so now I'm going to be doing Dave Ramsey sinking funds, and I'm very excited about this process for our 2021 budget. So let me show you how I got to this process, and I'm only going to show you with a few of them because you're going to get the point really quick. Okay, so I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to remove these numbers. Okay. So you see in the first one, let's line this up like this. So my health savings account, I need $250, right? So the $250, I would go two $100 bills and one $50 bill. So I set up this spreadsheet to auto calculate. So this is just what I do. So then retirement savings here, I would go equals. I always put an equal in front. And then retirement, I need another 100. So I go plus one. And that gives me two. And then I need another $50. So that's how I get to um, how many bills I need. And same thing. So with cell phone, we like to set that ahead. So our cell phones, we need $90 for me to pay our cell phones. And I will say I need one more 50 and two 20s. And I'll do that until I get all the way down the list here for our sinking funds. And then this number here should always, this number in this one should always match the total here, right? They should always match. All right. So let me delete this real quick because I don't want to have that on there long term. Okay. So that's deleted. So the envelope total, once I do go to the bank and I pull out this money and I stuff my envelopes, then I'll update my envelope total at the end of February to reflect the new totals in the envelope. So all I have to do then is to go in here. It already says equal, and I'll say I added 250 for February. And then I'll delete this number here and I'll know that there's $500 in that envelope. And then the same thing with the retirement savings, 150, and cell phones, it'll be the same thing. And then the reason I put the money in the envelope is because I'm on a method where my bills are paid 1 month ahead. So me, I have worked, saved, scraped like a dog to be 1 month ahead on all of my bills. So all of my bills are paid 1 month ahead. So in December, I was saving for January's bills. In January, I'm saving for February's bills. In March, I'm saving for April bills, and so on and so forth. I pay my bills 1 month ahead. So it took some sacrifice to do that because, you had to double up. So we had to double up. So once we doubled up, we were able to allocate money to in our envelopes to pay 1 month ahead. I wish I could pay 6 months ahead, but I ain't got it like that. So, but we are once a month ahead of all of our bills. So, what we're in, like I said, in January, we pay, we are saving for February. In February, we're saving for March. In March, we're saving for April bills. So, all of our bills are paid 1 month ahead, and that has been most helpful to us. So there you have it. These are my real numbers. This is what I spend every month on our bills, our living expenses, very detailed. You can pause the video. You can be as nosy as you want to be, all up in my business. I put it out there. So there you go. So this is how we do this. So our next video will be our sinking funds. So I'm going to go to my local bank. I'm going to pull out this denomination and I'm going to come back home and I'm going to show you how I stuff our envelopes and how I get that all together. And then um, that'll be the end of our series on our budgeting. So if this was helpful to you, please leave a comment down below and tell me what resonated with you. All right, so that's the end of this part. And if you have any questions about my budget, about my sinking funds, about my expenses, I encourage you again to watch the first video. I did go into great detail about why I do what I do and how I do it and my expenses and my bills and things like that. So go over there and watch that video. So we're going to wrap it up and thank you for watching. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing our numbers. I hope this video was a blessing to you. As I previously mentioned, our next series of videos are going to be in the action task 2 to get your house in order. And then we'll go on to action task 3, which is about water, action task 4, which is about making planning easy. Action task 5 is long-term food storage. And you can see the rest of the action tasks in the screenshot I have here. Without that financial plan that I just showed you, it is impossible for me to do all the other things that I do for my family emergency preparedness plan. So I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If it provided you some value, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell notification so you know exactly when I upload a new video. You're going to really want to see the action task 2 videos because that's going to walk you through my new home. Like I mentioned before, we are moving and I'm buying a new house and we're going to go room by room, every room in the house to get your house in order. And I'm going to show you step by step how I get my house in order, how I organize it, how I make it easier for us to live, and how it all works into my emergency preparedness plan. So as you can see, with the coronavirus, your house is going to be your retreat when the rest of the world is going crazy around you. And if you got your house in order, then you can go in your house, lock your doors, and sit in there and be at peace in your home while you watch the craziness on the news. But you'll be at peace knowing whatever foolishness is going on is not in your home. With that, I'm going to wrap up this video and I'll see you in the next video as we start our Action Task 2 series. Thanks for watching.